contractor in Nairobi is likely drawing little boxes around your wife's body right now. Annotation boxes, labeling her body parts so Meta's algorithm learns what undressing looks like. And that's not a conspiracy theory. Those are literally in the terms of service for those stupid Ray-Ban glasses 7 million of you bought. Look, 6 pages deep in those terms of service, there's a big clause. Humans may manually review your footage. 7 million pairs sold last year. Zuckerberg wants to double production with 20 million walking cameras by Christmas. And Meta's official response? We take privacy seriously. Same line they used after Cambridge Analytica, word for word. Have you ever noticed how we take privacy seriously is always past tense? Because they take it seriously after they get caught, never before. It's funny how that works. Today we brought inventor and philosopher Micah Serra and Dr. Sergio Sanchez, a CISO, author, and former executive at Apple and Activision, into the studio to break apart everything from deepfake job interviews to ransomware negotiators skimming off the top like a Vegas bookie. Turns out the people you're paying to protect you might be the ones robbing you blind. This is Cybercrime Junkies, and now the show. Oh, it's the draft copy?
So suppose next week.
Hang on.
Yes.
Welcome, everybody, to Cybercrime Junkies. I am your host, David. Actually, I've always gone by Dean Morrow. In the studio today, we have inventor Micah Serra. Mike, how do you say your last name? Achera? Sarah? I've always called you a Sarah.
It's Achera. You roll the R's. Achera. So we changed. My family changed it 100 years ago. When my grandfather came here, he changed it to Sarah because he was in Chicago, and they all talk like that.
He wanted to,
and I hated the sound of my name growing up, especially the Chicago wine, Sarah.
Sarah.
So I changed it back in college. I said I'm going to go back to Achera. So I don't care if people can't say it.
I like it. And also in the studio is Dr. Sergio Sanchez with a big announcement.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome, guys. 2 of my favorite inventor creators and guys that have lived multiple lives so far. So for people that may not know, Sergio, medical doctor, came to America, became a citizen, worked for Apple, managing hundreds of geniuses, worked in game design with a company that ultimately got bought by Activision, developing like really cool games. Mike and I went to college. I also went to college with Mike's smarter, better half, Heather. And Mike is an inventor, the CEO and founder of Luxblocks, a artist, traveled the world, lived in like a hut for a while. Like you guys have so many, there's so many books there. But speaking of books, Sergio has a new book.
Yes, this is the draft copy. It's not the official one. The official one is coming out March 16, available in Amazon, basically.
Yeah.
Like everything else in the world. It's a little bit my idea of what will happen if AI, artificial intelligence, get to the point to be super artificial intelligence.
When it becomes truly sentient, right?
Exactly. When the singularity happens. It's about what happens if it's a good thing or what happens if it's a bad thing. So that is in the book. It's a novel, which is so funny. I finished to write the book basically last month, February. And at the moment that I was typing the last chapter, Moldbook shop.
Right, Moldbook with OpenClaw.
Yes, and I have to change my prologue.
Right.
Like, wait a second, I thought this was going to be a fiction. Now I don't know about this.
So Moldbook, we love talking about this because Moldbook came out and it's open source, right? Anybody can download it. And it is an agent. You just download it on your computer and you just tell it what to do. Like, go through all these files and like, tell me what I'm missing. Tell me what I can do with it. Tell me if I should be emailing people, contacting people. What should I do? And then you leave. You go like drive your car, you go to the park, you walk your dog, you have dinner with the family, whatever. And then like meanwhile, Moltbook, I'm sorry, like OpenClaw is doing all this work. It has literally figured out there's phone calls to be made. So it clones a voice, goes and gets a burner number off of Google on its own while you're at the park, and will make
in your name.
Like I've seen a video where a guy has this installed and all of a sudden his phone starts ringing. It's like, oh, my AI assistant is calling me. I'm like, what?
In your own voice, it copies your voice?
It can, yeah. Like it either grabs one from 11 Labs, but if you have your own voice selected, it can do that. Freaky.
Well, let me tell you, yesterday I was reading, it's a new company called Mail Agent. Sorry, agentmail.to. So it's
agentmail.to. Okay.
That you can now give an email address to your agent. So has his own private email address.
And then it's just going to start emailing as you out to tons of people.
Well, LinkedIn, I think, is riddled with fake people now because I'm getting these messages and they're too good looking. And I ask my AI, I say, is this real? Is this woman real? And she's like, well, if she's not real, she's doing a really good job, you know, but I know. And it might be a real woman it's her agent, but the follow-up clicks right on the messages are instant. You know what I mean? It's just too, it's not right. Yeah.
Well,
I agree.
Let me tell you something that I found now some companies doing. And this is legal and it's happened to me. So it's a company, I will not mention names right now, but contact me like, hey, we have an amazing opportunity for you, executive position that pays 400 blah, blah. So you go and search the company, and the company is real. Me being the CISO of my company, I have to be sure that everything that I read is real. So yes, it's real. They are located somewhere in England. They have locations everywhere. But what they do is they contact high-level executives in the companies offering a job, a better job than the one they have, like the dream job. So when you contact them, and by phone, this is, or by Zoom, so you see a real person, you are talking to a real person, I'm sure they are. But the thing that happened is, now that I have you here, yes, I will do this for you, and this company is great, and I will talk with the manager that is hiring over there, blah, blah, blah. But in the meanwhile, do you have any positions to open in your company?
Really?
So
then, man.
Well, I need this. Oh, perfect. And then it's a game. Like, oh, perfect. I will contact you with these people that we have already here that they are good for this position. Meanwhile, we are looking for another job over there. So you play the game. Like, oh, yes, I need, a programmer, a developer. Oh, great, excellent. And they send you real people. And you talk with real people. But that is the hook. You understand? Like they want to get people in a position that they are able to hire somebody else. And of course, you offer me to be a president of this little country. What happened with that one? We need to talk with people, and we need to talk with the people. And so they extended until you get a job for whatever they're offering. So, so in the border of fraud and
and there's so much room to exploit that, right?
Yep.
Somewhat related, I was talking to we do cybersecurity services, right? So I'm talking to a business owner, small shop, like they do apps that help law firms, right? And they help law firms with like e-discovery, depositions, things like that. And so they need some coders sometimes. And they're based in Nashville, Tennessee. And they went and were interviewing several different people for this role. And they didn't have to, it would be great if they lived around Nashville, but they were entertaining some people around Ohio, Kentucky, Missouri, stuff like that. They didn't want to get anybody overseas. They got in a whole bunch of resumes. And this was right through LinkedIn, right through Indeed, right through, the regular job boards. And these people, the resumes were perfect. I mean, perfect. Like they have experience in the legal field, developing these types of things. They get on the interviews with these people and they look exactly like the person that they claim to be. But after a while in the questioning, they could tell something was up. Like they didn't really have the knowledge and there were some pauses in the interview. Fast forward to the end when I was talking to them, they had 15 interviews for the candidate, right? Which is a low number, but it's a small firm, only like 20 employees or so. 15 interviews, 8 of them wound up being AI deepfake interviews. 8 of them, more than half. That's a significant portion for a small business.
Real-time interviews.
Real-time interviews. Wow. Real-time. It was a stolen identity, right? They used stolen identity. They were calling from overseas. They were using an AI filter, right? If they had to be a 40-year-old Asian woman, even though they are a man who's in his 20s, let's say, right? They used AI deepfake technology and they would sound exactly like that person and look exactly like that person that they had on LinkedIn, that profile that they had on LinkedIn. But that profile on LinkedIn was fraud. It was a stolen identity that this group had created. They had created hundreds of them, and they would go and apply for different jobs. And the whole goal, he stopped one of the interviews. The reason he found out about it is he's like, stop. This is like the 3rd or 4th or 5th one that I've seen. He's like, just tell me what's going on. I won't turn you in. I just want to know what's going on. And the guy actually, like, for whatever reason, maybe his keeper wasn't around or something, took off the mask, turned off the virtual camera, right? And it was a dude. And he's like, I work in a call center. He's like, we just do this. He goes, well, what's the plan? What were you trying to do?
Right.
He's like, we just wanted the paycheck. He's like, we have a whole team of people, some of which have the skills that you need. We would do just enough to not get fired and make it last. The goal is to make it last a year. And they just wanted the income because we don't trade with them. We don't give them income.
It's more sad than infuriating. You know what I mean?
It is. It's very complex. Like the social dynamic. It's like when Sergio and I interviewed this retired FBI guy who just got back from Cambodia and met the people that were working in these scam centers. It's human trafficking. Mm-hmm. They're not even voluntarily being mean to us. They thought they were getting a job. They started out at the job, set up their pay. They went there and then they're like, hey, let's go take a job. Let's go take a ride over to corporate. They go over to corporate and there's like a gun put to their head. They're put up in these scam centers. They're removed from all communication to their family. And they are like threatened with like violence and a cattle prod, an electrical cattle prod, if they don't scam Americans and hit a certain quota.
Dave, let me tell you.
I couldn't even believe that was real.
Crazy.
Let alone like a big organization.
Let me tell you, last week, one of my friends from my class sent me a message like, is this real? Because sounds very attractive to me. And he's a retired guy. He's my age.
Right.
And not that I'm going to retire, but
no, I know. I'm working until somebody kicks me over and just starts doing the podcast for me.
My retirement plan is called the Rapture. Well,
yes, exactly.
So the funny part here is he sent me this message from a company that's offering $5,000 a week. $5,000 a week. He's in Mexico. And the message says...
That's a lot of money in Mexico.
Yes, but
a lot of money.
The funny part here is we are looking for somebody that looks in Mexico and speak 100% Spanish. So the first mistake there, like, hey, did you notice that, I don't know, 99.9999% of Mexicans speak Spanish?
Right, exactly.
So first thing there, like, you want somebody that lives in Mexico and speaks
Spanish.
Okay, and is Mexican. All right. And the second one, $5,000 for just making calls. So I went to check the company name.
I'm moving, because that sounds like a sweet gig.
The company name is real. It's a company that is based in Australia.
Okay.
But the funny part here is kind of for the company is to teach AI. And suppose the thing is, you can work remotely, you will be teaching this machine, blah, blah, blah. But then the information to contact the company is in India.
Okay.
And the phone number is in Cambodia.
So it's all just...
Yes. Well, so the thing that when pick your attention, you go to the company website. That is a real company. It's a legal, official, correct company. But the information that they are giving you in the WhatsApp is contact this number. And the number they are contact after you saw apps is real. It's in Australia. It's in Perth. Great. Yes. They are offering me this money. Let's go.
Well, it's right. It's what makes, the old social engineering attempts and the old, Mike and I were talking about this just yesterday, where you're talking about these threats and these psychological manipulation that they're doing. It's been around for hundreds of years. They're just doing it at scale now.
Do you ever hear about the story of the...
They think it through, right? They're like, well, what will Americans do? Or people in Mexico? Well, like, what would a reasonable person do to check us out? Well, they would go to a website. Do we have a legit... They'll create a legit website. Are we a registered business? Sure. Bob and I created a business.
I wrote a story today about that. That was my scam.
I mean, it's just they go through all of the elements. Do we have the certain employees on LinkedIn? Sure, they just create them. They put them on LinkedIn. Like, so as you're doing your checks, you're like, well, it looks real, right? It looks like it like, depending on how many layers you peel back the onion, you're kind of able to see it. But anyway, this is a chaos episode. Let's get right into it, and then we're going to play Hacker Hype.
All right.
Because Mike hasn't played, and I
watched Sergio play.
That was fun. I want to show him the video
hair, with his dry hair, the big hair.
I'm just telling you. I'm very jealous. I'm going up to Ohio in a couple of weeks too.
Yeah.
Whenever he tells me. So I'm gonna just get near him and just try.
Where in Ohio are you? Which city?
My company. Well, the company is in Kent, close to Kent University, Kent State College. Kent State University, the famous one.
I know.
Close from there. But originally, we are close to Stowe, Ohio. That's a little town close to Kent. We are 35 minutes south of Cleveland.
Yeah, my daughter and my grandson actually live right there in Talmadge.
Yes, there you go.
Right, these are all little towns right by Akron. Akron is a little town south of Cleveland.
I was reading about Kent this morning as I was looking up. I was kind of mad about Iran. So I was like, when do you hang your flag upside down? I was just looking that up, and it said, here's
Kent
a few
State
things.
University.
It did. It said Kent State. It said the Vietnam War, especially Kent State University, people hung their flags upside down. I was like, interesting. And then you're talking about Kent State.
Yeah. Isn't that? Yeah. Well, and the famous Neil Young song "Ohio" is about
Way to go, Ohio. Yeah.
It's fascinating. One of my kid I grew up with, who's actually an actor out in Hollywood now, B actor, but he's had a lot of roles, and he's also a stuntman. But he and I grew up together, and he went to Kent State. He loved it. So
Yeah, it's a good school.
It's a beautiful school.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. The campus. We used to live right by there. We lived over near Rootstown there, and we would go there on the weekends and stuff. It's fantastic.
Hey, you want to hear my cyber story?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So let's do the stories. Mike, go ahead.
Okay, my story involves a guy who is a friend of mine. He's actually family member too. He's a boomer. He tried to get out of the Vietnam War, but he finally got his number, and so he joined the Navy, and he went to the Great Lakes up here in Chicago, and.
Yep.
But he was a very clever, smart guy. So he opted into cyber. So he was he was a spook, and he would put the earphones on and he'd listen to signals, right?
Okay.
And so that's his background. This was back in the 70s, and he heard lots of interesting things. But he was on what would become the internet way before anybody else got to see it. But they had their own version of the internet that was real back in the 70s before it became. So anyways, jump to today, and he likes UFOs. Those shoes, UFOs, they're kind of like ugly little, kind of like sandals and stuff. I think they're kind of ugly, but they're plastic shoes. He likes them; they're very comfortable. So he went to the UFO site and he made an order, and it said, "Oh, your credit card's not working." And he goes, "Oh shit!" He goes, "You can put a different credit card number in." So he put a different credit card number in. Then he realized after that one failed that something was wrong. So he backed out of the site, and a week goes by, and he gets an alert on his text saying
that credit card has been used for multiple transactions.
Yeah. So he called. One of them was a hotel in Seattle. So he calls the hotel up, and they said, "Yes, you stayed here the other night, Mister So and so, and
stayed here." Really? What did I have for dinner?
They gave him the perps picture of his ID, right?
Oh, they did.
Oh
that's
yeah,
good.
This guy was like partying hard on this guy's credit card. So he called the Seattle police. They had no interest in all. They said, "You got to call your local police here in Galesburg." So he called the local police. They came out and filled a whole report out, and nothing was going to happen. But
what
so
are they going to do in Galesburg? Galesburg is a adorable town. Went to college there, loved it. Always town. Wish I could have. Yeah, but it's a small town. Like, they're not going to have a cyber division necessarily in their police department. Right?
Yeah, I don't even know what the recourse is to that. Just that it went nowhere. So it was a clone website. UFOS is a real company, but he went to probably was like UFOS with 2 S's or something. I don't know what it was. He was.
Oh yeah, or sometimes it'll be like they'll do, what is it called, Sergio? Where they'll use they'll use the Russian Russian
Cyrillics.
Cyrillics. They'll do that.
If I just want to go to chat, sometimes Claude will come up first, and sometimes they look alike. Like it'll say. There's also another one that says chat something. It's like it almost looks like chat. So you could so easily click on the wrong AI. But anything you can get. There's lots of stores because Google pushes up things to the top.
Well,
so maybe what happened
too. The sponsored ads pop up.
That's what I
top.
mean. Yeah. So you could get the wrong company.
Google and Meta don't care because the money's green. They don't care if it's a fraudulent site. It goes right up at the top.
Meta says that. Meta says that they know that they had fraudulent advertising.
Oh yeah, that's my story today.
Sorry.
That's my story. No, I'm all over Meta.
That was my story. My story's over.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
Well, very fast, Mike. Let me tell you before I start my story. Mexico has a hacker using Claude to get information from the government. And the story doesn't finish there. I have a friend that called me last night and says, "Hey, my computer is doing something very weird. Is this a black screen showing up?" So I connect to his computer. And I know,
dude, you're like IT support
for all my friends and family. Yes,
like you really are. He's got a big like Facebook page, and he's like he does all of this 3D printing. Oh, you should find it, Mike. It's Dr. Firmware, right?
Yes,
on Facebook.
I will pass Mike all the information, but let me tell you. So I went to the computer, and yes, you have PowerShell, Windows opening.
My gosh, you're kidding.
And the computer is infected. And about And I thought, when this start, he's a director of an insurance company in Mexico.
Great target, though.
He went to the official, government website for updates, blah blah blah, and he says, after I sign in the website, I have a pop-up that says, to get access to this website, the insurance official website, you have to download this and install. And oh my God. I start but that is a real thing. That's a real website. So I went to check the information in that website, and it's a sign that says our website has been hacked now for 4 hours. Please don't log in.
Yes.
He didn't read that.
Right.
So I told him, I sent him with a friend that also live in Mexico to clean completely that computer. And thanks God,
okay, good.
His information, the important files are in the cloud. So
okay, good.
Wow.
And separate and immutable, right? Like the important stuff is whenever you back up your stuff, and Mike, I'm sure you do this, but if you don't, it's always good. All your designs, all your inventions and all that stuff, have a backup of it clearly, right? But also have that backup immutable.
Yes.
Immutable just means like air gapped. Think of it like an external drive, right? That's unplugged from your computer. So that way, if your computer gets infected, right, the first thing they're going to do is take your backups. They're going to make a copy of your backups, and they're going to go to that first before they even kind of let you know that they're in your system.
So what kind of gateway do you do? Like it's a one-way revolving door. How do you transfer information to something and then the door locks? How does that happen?
Let me tell you very fast. In the computer world, we'll call it the 3-2-1. 3 copies in 2 different locations, and one of those locations is completely disconnected from the computer. With that in mind, you have applications that can help you put things in the cloud, like Drive.
Cove is a good one. Like there's Cove,
or
iCloud,
Google
OneDrive, some of those things. It's good to have like one backup and then have one that's kind of on something physical or something.
So I'm being very literal here. So if I put something on my regular PC and I want to put it to a different device, you're saying don't do it with a LAN.
Disconnect from the internet. Disconnect from the internet. Then download it onto the drive, and then remove that drive and just keep it somewhere.
Oh, so when you do the transfer of information, turn your Wi-Fi off.
Yeah, or just disconnect. Like just remove, like sign out of your browsers.
Or sign out
so that there's no like live traffic going on.
I see. And don't.
I have to tell you very fast. Also, Apple used to do this long time ago. Used to call it the time machine.
Yeah, I remember that.
The time machine was an application that required for you to connect external hard drive.
Right.
So you used to have external hard drive connected, pop up. Hey, you want me to back up? Yes. Do the backup. The time that is spent, depending on how much information you have.
It was basically a snapshot of your entire thing.
Put it in that, and then just to say disconnected now.
Right. What I always found hard about that was getting it back. Like finding it, I'd have to go through all these snapshots.
Yes.
And they weren't labeled right. So I'd have to guess what day did I have my stuff right that I'm looking for, right? And it was like, I didn't really love that. Now I just back it up. Do they still do that? Do they still do that?
Yes, but now you can put the labels and by time and date.
It's better now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, much better because
Yeah, I have a drive over there that has like time machine stuff, and I'm like, I don't even go to it because I'm like, I'd have to figure out like November 2024. Did I like have my crap together then or not? Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, because you go through, and it's really, it kind of rolls in like a 3-dimension with like the date, and you're like just going, and then you just click on one. But I didn't necessarily. Maybe it's just a user error. Probably is.
So
I just couldn't figure it out.
So now, very fast, let me tell you my story. So we discovered last week that United States and Israel attacked Iran.
Yes, it was.
And Iran started to attack everybody around them. And one of the places that they attacked was Abu Dhabi and Dubai. And sadly was casualties, in hotels, locations were bombarded. And the sad part here, which is where you lose faith in humanity, is hours after Dubai suffered the attack, hackers, scammers start calling people and says, "Hi, we are the Dubai Crisis Management Center. We want to know if you are okay, and we will need your information." Basically, what is your name? What is your address? What is your social security number? Oh, you are okay. Perfect. Thank you. Bye. Next. In another cases, used to says, hey, all the phones are getting hacked by the Iranian government. So we are going to send you information of how to change your IMEI, the SIM card basically.
Right.
Now SIM cards are not anymore, the digital, the physical ones, they are digital now. eSIMs, they call it.
Yep.
So the person, yes, here is all my information on my phone. And then click, no more service.
Unbelievable.
Because now somebody
now they've done the SIM swap. And there's some famous cases. Yeah, there's some famous cases about SIM swapping. The group Scattered Spider, which is a bunch of young kids, they've really mastered SIM swapping, because once they can take over that phone, they go in and grab the private keys from people's crypto wallets, and they target people that trade crypto. Yeah, and they will go and they will steal all that money.
In really this case, they start checking what is the information in the phone, get contact with the bank. The bank, of course, is going to send the 2FA, MFA code, and they are going to capture.
Yeah. Yeah, they're able to get the code. Like, you have no protection. They have your phone. They own your identity.
It's terrible, because in moment where humanity is fighting each other.
Right.
And it's people taking advantage of that.
Yeah. And I will say Iran too is, they do a lot of things wrong, clearly. But in terms of criminal hacking and like nation state hacking, like they are good.
They are great.
They're really good. They're one of the really top bad guys.
I have to tell you, we're watching a show in Apple TV, and that is called Tehran.
Tehran.
And it's an amazing show. And you see that all the people, and it's filmed in Tehran. I don't know how they do that, but it's in there. And you can see that the people want to get out of there. The people from Tehran want to escape from their own place.
We're old enough. So when I was a kid, I lived in the city of Chicago and then lived out in the rural part. But even when I lived in the city, I knew people from Iran. Like they were moving here. They were starting businesses. Like, it was an open, free society. It was like meeting somebody from France. Like, it didn't really matter. Like, and then all of a sudden it stopped.
Yeah, the Shah de Iran was removed, and then the Ayatollahs start.
Right. Unbelievable.
Well, it both involves, now we know, fuckery. Both times we installed the Shah, and I think it was Jimmy Carter who kind of screwed the Shah. So fuckery goes all the way around, and there's places in hell for the people you're describing.
Yes,
Sergio. I mean, in the ancient battlefields, there would be people that would go out in the fields and pick the pockets and kick the gold.
Yes.
My dad saw in World War II, he fought in the Philippines, and he saw fellow GIs, he called them hillbillies, and they kick the heads in of the Japanese to get the gold out of their mouths. Wow. So,
oh my God,
demons come out in all different times, right?
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
It's tragic. Speaking of demons, let's talk about Meta. Now, we enjoy the platform. We don't mind Instagram. We don't mind Facebook, right? We leverage it. But
WhatsApp now too. WhatsApp is part of
compromised. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and we're adults, and we clearly are too old to have body images, so body image issues. But I will tell you, the story I have is several million people bought Meta's stupid looking Ray-Ban eyeglasses last year. And Meta workers over in Kenya just told journalists that they're watching footage of strangers undressing, having sex, and using the bathroom. So a Meta customer places his glasses like on the nightstand, right? Walks out of the bedroom. Wife comes in, takes off her clothes, and then a contractor in Nairobi draws annotation boxes around her body parts so that the Meta's algorithm learns what a woman, a bedroom, and undressing looks like. This is like legit what's going on. So the marketing that the eyeglasses does, right, shows concerts and hiking trails, main character energy, right? But 6 pages deep in the terms of service, there's a clause in there that says humans may manually review your footage that nobody knows about. So, and Meta's planning to double production to like 20 million pairs this year. So there's going to be like 20 million cameras walking around, watching people undress, use the bathroom. And like, I don't think a lot of people are good with that. You know, Zuckerberg's response and Meta's corporate response is we take privacy seriously. But then again, they're on trial right now for not necessarily doing that. And that's the same thing they said after the Cambridge Analytica thing years ago. So to me, I was just shocked, right? And it makes me want to, like, next time I see somebody wearing them at dinner, I'm going to like walk up and remind their partner, you know what I mean? Like, you know, there's a decent chance someone in Kenya is going to be watching you undressed.
But aren't you kind of shocked that you're shocked? I mean, I'm shocked that you're shocked.
Yeah, I guess
I'm
maybe
not surprised
that's.
I think this thing is listening to me all the time, and all my friends do too.
Yeah,
so, and I know I took TikTok off my phone because I saw its terms of service. I read the novel. So I just think that I think the CIA and NSA and the Mossad and the CCP, they all want this, and I don't believe for a second they're not listening to us. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think that you're wrong, and I don't think it's necessarily always for bad purposes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I don't think it's for a charity.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Mike, I have to tell you something.
I'm such an optimist. I believe in humanity.
Well, prove me wrong. Sergio, convince me I'm wrong. I don't want to have this dark.
No, I'm not going to convince you. But let me tell you, I believe, and this was before quantum computing, that the more people get devices that they are paying attention of what they're doing, is so much amount of information now that they have to capture, and not enough computing and human power to be checking all that.
Sure, I understand that.
It's a specific person.
I think that was my point. Like, I think it comes into play when they're trying to identify cells in the U.S. They're trying to identify arms trafficking, human trafficking, gun running, like drug smuggling and stuff.
But the problem is when they pick a poison, they say, "Oh yeah, today's new terrorists are conservative Catholic men."
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you're right.
And you say Christ is King or something that's going to be a flag on their system. They create an algorithm for who they want to find. They go rabbit hunting.
That's a really good point, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
And I thought that we were just a target of the left, right? Like I thought I was just a target of the ladies on The View, right? Like the conservative Christian white male was the enemy, right? Because
But that can change any day to the opposite direction.
Exactly.
You're right.
Yeah, it's the principle. It's not the person. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Sadly, we live in a world that I don't know if we are prepared to live, if our mind is prepared to live. And this is funny. Being a doctor, I always have the idea that our body didn't have the time in evolution yet to be eating the things that we eat today.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. I would agree with that.
Increasing obesity everywhere in the planet is because the reason of when we are becoming Homo sapiens, we were every single day running behind a mammoth, a deer,
right.
Whatever it was, but you was running, you was hunting
right.
every day. And if that day was your lucky day, maybe you have food that day. And the woman every day walking and looking for vegetables or beets or whatever was available in the floor. So we spend all our time,
It's a really good point. It's like
calories.
Humankind and our physical development is at this level, going at this stage. Meanwhile, technology has exponentially increased, and there's a huge exploitation.
Exactly.
We suffer from a curse of wealth, is what he's saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not only wealth, time. Time in our hands is the worst, because if you don't have time, you will go to a fast food restaurant to get whatever you want at that moment, because you don't have the time to go to the grocery store, you don't have the time
to prepare a meal, sit down for a meal, all of that.
Or the opposite direction. You have plenty of time that now everything that you need to do is done because all the technology around you, and then you are watching just TV, eating something because you are bored.
Right.
The same thing with technology to me. Are we prepared to have all the technology that we have today and handle it correctly? That's the main question because now, I have grandkids and I noticed that my daughter, the nanny is called Apple iPad.
Yep.
So when my little granddaughter is bored or crying or is
Absolutely
fussy, here's the iPad, play.
right.
But now, how long, how much time these kids are spending in front of a screen? And what the
Well, yeah,
screen
we
is
used to.
teaching them?
I used to have cartoons on, and I know we sound old, but we are. Like we used to have cartoons Saturday morning. Saturday morning was
Yeah,
like a treat, but Monday through Friday, right?
nothing.
The sun would come out, the door would open, and my mom would be like, "Come home when it gets dark," and you were
The
gone,
lights on
and you
the
were out there,
street.
like like Lord of the Flies, like hanging from things, breaking stuff, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, how did we survive? A, and then how did we not get arrested? B, and thank God there wasn't Facebook then, right? But all those things now, it's constant. And my grandchild has a television going or an iPad going, and every time I talk to my daughter, I'm like, get him to a park, like take the screen away. Like,
But that's the job. That's your job to say that to her. I mean,
yeah,
Jesus talked about how he's saying he's sowing enmity between brother and sister, between father and son. To be a Christian, to be a good person, is to be a offer fraternal charity and correction. And Sergio is saying he sees the crime that's happening to his grandchild. He's got to tell his daughter. And she
Right.
might not listen to him, but that's the only way
Right.
culture corrects itself. You can't rely on Silicon Valley to give us guidance because they're just making money
well,
off
that's
of
the
us.
whole thing, right? And that's what we're seeing that with Meta right now on with the trials. And I mean, there's I think 1,500 cases pending.
Well,
So this is going to be going on for a long time
not only
until
that,
it changes.
you can see
Because
that
you
profit.
can't. They're not going to self-regulate. They're not going to just do the right thing. Partly because they themselves have investors who have demands every quarter.
The end of shareholder
right?
capitalism is an unconstrained system because you want to have a government that does have regulation, that does constrain capitalism. And when it's unconstrained and we're getting this propaganda that greed is good, and when you are just when you're balling and you're on your Instagram on your jet, that's success, that is happiness, and kind of preaching. But the idea is that billionaires win, and wealth wins, and everyone's got their 401k in these kind of evil companies that are making the foods that are killing the Mexican people. And hey, I'm good. Why should I care? So that's the problem.
Right.
It's this uncontrolled greed, unregulated capitalism. It gets out of control, I think.
Yeah. And it's really systemic. And that's part of the reason I think Sergio and I like cybersecurity a lot, because it is really a river that flows through every aspect of all of our lives. Like it is because we don't just talk about cybersecurity at the corporate level. Like there's, you can have all the rules and regulations and systems in place, but when Sloan Maddox, is over in the third floor cubicle with 27 browsers open, clicking on links like it's an Olympic sport, all your systems are not going to help you anyway, right? Because she hasn't protected herself. She hasn't thought, how do I reasonably use and have life balance? How do I reasonably engage with technology? How do I keep myself secure? How do I keep my family secure? Right. And that doesn't just mean security, passwords and multi-factor authentication, blah, blah, blah. It also means the use, the addiction, the technology addiction that we have. I read a recent report that we pick up these things, our mobile phones, 264 times a day. On average in the United States, 264 times a day. And that's across generations. Some of the younger generations, it's higher. So the delta is getting worse, right? That's an issue, right? That's not only a cybersecurity issue, a risk issue, but it's a human issue. It's an
old issue. It's an old issue.
Yeah,
it goes back to the
really
vices.
is.
There was sloth, right, and vanity. All these vices were part of the subsidiary of sin, right? Are these these vices? And this is a vice. In fact, I'm in this men's group, this Catholic Bible study group, and we're also we're giving up for Lent. And so many of the men are giving up social media. Some of them are taking their Meta off their phone. I told you yesterday I keep this downstairs. I don't let it in our bedroom. So I just
I love that. But I love that idea. I did that
so
last.
Hard.
By the way, I did that last night and slept like a baby.
Mike, let me tell you something. I don't know if Dave told you that I used to work for the Catholic Church here in the United States.
No, that was one of his other lies.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I haven't mentioned that. He used to work. He was Vatican.
Yes.
Wow. I'm not surprised.
So the order that I have from the high level, the Roman Curia, was that teach the priesthood here in the United States to use technology. And that was an amazing experience, but at the same time, it was a nightmare.
Yeah, that's a nightmare.
Imagine that out of the blue, you have to teach somebody that never, ever use a computer or a phone to do their job. Because really, the main tool for them is the face-to-face interaction with people.
Right.
And now,
the Bible. Right.
Now you have to tell, well, now the archbishops, the cardinals, the pope want you to use email. And I have to teach you how to use MFA. And I have to teach you how to use your phone.
Well, think about that, right? Because that's a rush to adopt technology, whereas we started in the 90s, right, with email and then instant messenger. It has been a slow progression for us to kind of use it, and then because then you understand the context of why MFA exists or why certain things exist, right? Because you saw what was happening before we all used it.
Catholics invented the book. I mean, so we've been at the tip of the spear on technology a lot. And during the Middle Ages, we preserved Socrates and Aristotle, the monks up in Ireland. So Catholics have always embraced technology. I mean, the Big Bang was discovered by or came up with by a priest, and Mendel, who came up with genetics. Through Pease, he was a monk.
Gregory Mendel.
Yeah. So Catholics are not anti-science. That's just propaganda. We just had a run-in with Galileo a little bit. And I think it was after Galileo, they said, we got to get out of the science business and let people just do science, right?
Well, they have the Vatican Observatory.
Yes, they do.
Which is amazing.
Have you been there?
I've been there, yeah. I was lucky to be there.
All right, gentlemen, I think it's time that we do, let me see.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, buckle up. It is time for Hack or Hype. We can't wait. Tell us all about it. Well, it's the greatest game show on the planet. Our host reads a top headline, and you decide. Is it fake hype? Pride is on the line along with winnings of $40,684 Cybercrime Junkies dollars. Amazing. Hey, what are those worth? Well, those are completely worthless but emotionally priceless. So let's get started with Hack or Hype!
Are you guys able to see my screen here?
Yes, Hack or Hype.
All right, so I just tried to share it, and it kicked me off. So as long as you guys are able to see it,
we're able to see it.
All right, so we're going to start our game of Hack or Hype, everybody. Inventor Mike and Dr. Sergio. What type of category would we like to start with? We have
Mike, please,
famous
guest.
Data breaches, employee security mistakes, cyber insurance essentials, ransomware and business costs, compliance and legal liability. We could even create our own. But I haven't created any yet. So let's just go through here.
Let's go with famous data breaches.
All right, famous data breaches.
Perfect.
All right, we're giving it a little time for Claude Code to
famous
spin
data
up.
breaches for 500, please.
Okay, famous data breaches. In 2013, Adobe suffered a massive data breach that exposed 38 million user accounts, including encrypted passwords and payment card information, making it one of the largest breaches of a software company at that time. Inventor Mike, is that made up? Is that is that a hype? Is that hype, or is that a true story? Is it a hack?
I didn't know Adobe was a thing in 2013, so I'm going to say hack.
Good observation.
I'm going to say hype. I'm going to say hype.
So he's going to say hype.
And I will
Dr. Sergio, you're going to say real.
Yes, it's real.
All right, let's find out. We're going to reveal the answer.
Yeah.
It is a hack. The statement is true. In 2013, Adobe suffered a massive data breach that exposed 38 million user accounts. Oh, that's actually kind of interesting, including encrypted passwords. This breach is real. It happened in October. Adobe confirmed that hackers accessed nearly 3 million customer credit card records and login data for 38 million active users, which later got revised to 153 million. That's a big deal back in 2013.
No, because thanks God, this was before they were using the new business model that they have to rent the software.
Right. So also, it was the actual disc that you would buy. The licenses.
You remember it used to be Adobe CS?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
That is when that happened.
Wow. Interesting.
I'm telling you because in the video game company, in Activision, we use a lot of Adobe products to develop games.
That's right. The Adobe Creative Suite.
I remember that call like, hey, change your
It happened to you.
Password.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I've got his credit card right here.
Yeah.
So, all right, Dr. Sergio, pick a topic.
Let's go to industry compliance requirements.
That sounds extremely dry.
Yes, it's very dry, but let's see.
Let's see.
Because I will go also for famous data breaches, but let's switch it.
Okay. Under HIPAA regulations, healthcare providers can be fined up to $50,000 per violation, with annual maximums reaching $1.5 million per violation, meaning a single data breach affecting patient records could result in penalties exceeding $10 million, even for a small medical practice. Dr. Sergio, what do you think?
I think it's a hack.
You think
and
it's real?
They increased from $10,000 to $50,000.
Sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Yeah. What do you think, Vendor Mike?
I think it's bullshit.
Okay. I like your confidence. Let's go with it. I don't think it's that high. I think it's hype. Let's see what happens. Let's reveal the answer. It is real. Holy cow. So even a small medical practice could for a data breach could be fined in HIPAA $10 million. And that's separate and apart from like lawsuits that patients would file.
Yeah, I know a company that had to pay $6 million. So
wow.
And that was cheap. And also you have jail time.
There's criminal penalties involved?
Yeah.
Brutal.
Up to 10 years in prison.
Brutal. All right, let's talk about, because this is something that organizations don't really talk about, and that is third-party vendor risks, meaning organizations have trouble keeping Sloan from clicking on links all the time, right, herself. But there's also the fact that, we talk about like one of the bigger breaches that first got news, like national news, was Target. And it's significant because everybody's been to a Target, right? A Target shopping complex, right? All of us have. So what was significant about that breach, because it was huge, it was massive, right? Wasn't so much that Target got breached, because they in fact had invested and had a really strong cybersecurity team inside. What made that breach so significant was that it wasn't caused by Target. It was actually caused by their HVAC vendor.
Mm-hmm.
Attackers breached that, and the HVAC vendor had access to Target systems, which hadn't been monitored, and the FireEye system didn't have the automatic remediation turned on at the time. So thought that was interesting. Oh, and great. This is the question. Let's move on.
I say bullshit. That's a hype. I don't believe it.
No, I'm giving you points on that one. Let's go to the next one. I can't believe that, man. It's like one of the, let's see what it says. All right. Third party vendor incidents.
You did that.
Okay. In 2020, I just wanted to find one that I didn't just give the answer away. In 2020, a scheduling software vendor's ransomware attack forced over 1,100 dental and medical practices to shut down for nearly 2 weeks. So it was one of their scheduling software. Think of how many scheduling softwares there are out there. It caused an estimated $700 million in lost revenue because appointments couldn't be scheduled or accessed.
Mike, you go first.
It sounds like it. Well, I don't know. It seems like everything's real in this game, but it seems like an exaggeration. Like they just can't call people up, so I can't believe that much money was lost. So I say it's hype.
I'm with you. I think it's a hype.
I say it's a hype too.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, what's a hype?
Oh my God!
Wow.
Okay, first of all,
this game is rigged.
I got to adjust the code in this game clearly because I'm like, dude, you keep giving us real answers for everything.
This game is called Hack or Hack.
Could you please rotate it more? And what's cool is it'll actually do that.
But it's good that it's telling you the company.
Yeah. In 2020, this was the Henry Schein dental practice management software breach. Henry Schein's a huge software company that does scheduling for dentists. It demonstrates that even routine business software from trusted vendors can become a single point of failure.
Wow.
Interesting.
Can I say something real quick? So we've been noticing, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Bain, the one that Romney worked for, Bain Capital.
Oh, yeah,
but there's a lot of Bain Capitals out there, and they've been small town America has been just overrun with the consolidation of veterinary clinics and dental clinics. They're all becoming corporate.
Interesting.
And see, when you go now, if people used to go to their dog place and they get, they might spend $30, whatever. Now it's a guaranteed $500, $700 visit because they got to give them all these shots and all these things. It's same with dental. Now you go to the dentist and they're like, I think you got to go to the oral surgeon to get this checked out. Referrals are way up because you're in a corporate system. You're not going to your local guy anymore. And
they all have KPIs, right? They'll have meetings. Yeah. KPIs are like, how many referrals did you do this week?
Exactly.
How many you need to
What's
get
the
those
lifetime value of your customer? That's what they're looking at. We want to own their credit card. These are like this old software thing, right? Where it's like got to own the. Doesn't seem. I think it's insidious because you're getting these people in these small towns. A lot of them are pensioners, and they're spending like $700 a month on their dog or more.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
They're used to going to Jack Robertson, the dentist, right?
Exactly.
And instead they go in, and it might be Jack Robertson's dental practice, but they go in and it's actually a wholly owned subsidiary of this huge company. And they have meetings every single week, right, about their sales and their KPIs.
Yeah, so that's kind of like a cybercrime in a sense. I mean, people are they're getting their life
really
hacked by big corporate interests that are so powerful, and I don't know. I think it's just unfortunate. So sorry, I've been the downer today.
No, but it's a really good point because it touches on the cultural effect of all of this.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, as our special guest, you get to pick the next category. Where this is our final category.
I don't know enough about ransomware, so go ahead. Let's get ransomware business impact.
Ransomware is like the coolest part of cybersecurity because
it's an exciting name.
It locks it down. You can't access your own stuff. You get a little note on there, like your icons turn white. And there's just a text note. You open up that. It's the only thing you can open. You open that up and it says, "Hello, comrade."
It's like a Liam Neeson film, right?
It really is.
We have your daughter.
And it's literally like there's a timer that goes and you have to negotiate and contact these Russian or Eastern Bloc ransomware gangs who are very good at their job. Like on a Tox channel. And most small business owners don't know what a Tox channel is, right? Because why would we, right? Why would they? And you've got to download the Tor browser. You got to get on the dark web and go and speak with them and begin negotiating. That is like the reality of it. And so it's pretty shocking. So let's see. After a ransomware attack, here's the question. After a ransomware attack, the average small business loses more money from operational downtime than from the ransom payment itself. the typical recovery taking 21 days and costing over $280,000 in lost productivity and revenue.
Who has to answer first?
Inventor Mike, do you think it's hack or do you think it's a hype?
I'm just going to keep rolling on black. It's going to be hype.
Okay, you're rolling on hype. Dr. Sergio? He thinks it's a hack. I will tell you, the reports that we always see always have inflated numbers. They're always like, a small business that makes $3 million a year. They're like, if you have a data breach, you could lose $10 million.
Yeah.
Like, I don't buy that number. But it could be 280 grand, which would be huge.
Yeah.
Right. So the fact that it says 280 and doesn't say like 10 million, I think it's a hack, but let's find out. I think it's real. It's a hack. It's true. After a ransomware attack, the average small business, and this is when they say that, they generally mean 25 users or less, right? 25 employees or less, small business, loses more money from operational downtime than paying the ransom itself. It's true, because if you have a $3 million business or $5 million business, the ransom might be 60 grand, 75 grand. But the fact that you haven't been able to work, issue invoices, talk or communicate with anybody for 3 weeks on average, that's going to hurt more, right? So this is true and often surprises business leaders who focus primarily on the ransom demands.
What do they typically ask for in a ransom? Is it like 60?
They actually have a playbook, and they actually go by your revenue. It's like a percentage of your gross revenue.
And they probably figured out like it's probably just better off just pay it off and let it go away. And
well, you are trusting that the hackers are going to give you back their key, the information. You are crossing your fingers.
There's no guarantee.
Is no warranty.
Correct. Which is why, here's where we come to the best practice, the lesson time, right? The best practice is always to have like an incident response plan, to practice that at least like once a year. It's like a fire drill that we all did as kids, but to actually know that, meaning if this happens, unlikely, just like a fire drill in school as a kid, but in the unlikely event that this happens, what will we do? We need to know that the first thing we're going to do is this, the next thing we're going to do is this, etc. Right? And one of the keys is in those incident response, those tabletop exercises, is to communicate with the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security when you're doing the prep, because you want to give them all of your information. Like, we have X number of servers, we use this type of technology, blah, blah. So that way, on the event of an incident like that, you can contact them immediately. You're already in their system. Because otherwise, when they're saying you have an hour to do this, or you have a couple hours to do this, you call the FBI, you call the Department of Homeland Security, they're going to take a few hours, if not a day or two, to learn about you, and so that they can give you the advice.
So you don't just say, I'm going to give you an hour, or I'm going to kill you and your whole family? You don't do that?
No,
Mel Gibson.
Exactly right. No. And you don't want to say that to a federal officer.
No, I meant the hacker. I didn't mean the federal officer.
Oh yeah, the hacker. No, that's true. That's true. But the and their advice will always be, don't pay the ransom. And that is the line from the FBI. They always say, don't pay the ransom. And part of the reason they say that is they have a bunch of decrypt keys, the FBI, because they do offensive, the CISA and the NSA, they have hacked hackers. So they have a group of decrypt keys, and they will be trying those out. So they'll say, like, don't pay unless, because we might be able to save you, right? But even if they don't, they caution and they help you kind of negotiate it. So it's a big help, but they can't really do much in time if you haven't talked to them ahead of time. So that's kind of
now, Mike. That is a problem for the healthcare industry.
Huge. Healthcare is destroyed.
A couple of years ago in England, several hospitals, they got ransomware attacks. And even when MI5, what is M5, MI5, whatever.
MI5.
Yeah, MI5.
Spy, yeah.
Told them, do not pay the ransom. Scotland Yard. They have to, because you have a patient that is in trouble right now, that I need to know the medication, the blood type. So I'm so sorry. I need to pay and cross my fingers that you are going to give me back the information.
Well, rural healthcare here in the United States. So I do a lot with the HIMSS organization over in Kansas, and outside of Kansas City and a little bit outside Wichita, it's extremely rural there, right? And they have county healthcare systems. And I don't know if you looked in the news, but a couple years back, like they all got hit. And like it was really bad. Like somebody is having heart, chest pains, and things like that. They couldn't render medical care, and they had to like ship them in an ambulance 2 hours away. People can die in transit, right? And it's really tough for them because they are, a lot of them operate either as a nonprofit or, even if they are a for-profit system, they're not making much profit. And so, it's a really big struggle.
I have a question. Here. This sounds really paranoid, but I know, being an Italian American, there was the old shakedown, right, where you pay for protection, right?
Of course.
So has there ever been an incident where people who are doing the ransoms are actually selling cybersecurity?
Wow, such an interesting.
That's a very good question.
I mean, that's a really good business model. I mean, that's an old Italian business model.
So, interestingly enough, Mike, listen to this. I just recently did an episode. When I say I did an episode, it means I researched it and I made calls to try and find out what the truth is. So, there is a couple guys. So, what happens is there's this industry. It's a cottage industry, a boutique industry, where they are the ransomware negotiators. So they get hired by the cyber insurance firms. They have agreements with law enforcement, or they will advertise their services. So that way, let's say this happens and you call the FBI or you call somebody and they're like, we don't have anybody available. We can't help you. Or, here's our stance. Call us when it's done. We'll fill out a report, because that does happen sometimes. So what they'll do is they'll call ransomware negotiators, these groups that advertise on their websites. And there's a firm in Chicago, one that was very popular, and they were the ransomware negotiators. What they were doing is they were actually doing two things. And these guys just got indicted and they're currently facing trial.
I nailed it. Okay.
Right now. And good. What happened was they were doing two things. One, because you as a business owner, Mike, your business gets down, right? And I come in from Chicago. I got my silk suit on, my little tie, right? And I'm like, I'm a professional ransomware negotiator. And I say it in a calm time. I'm like, I know the Lockbit gang extremely well. And Akira, I know those guys. I just negotiated. They were making a demand of 40 million. I got it down to 2 million, right? So you engage us for, let's say, 80 grand. You pay us 80 grand. And we're going to go and we're going to negotiate with them. And actually what they'll do is they'll say, well, you don't even have to pay us. We will take a percentage of what we get for you, of what you have to pay in the ransom, right? So first of all, that's the standard model. First of all, that model has issues because I get paid more if you pay more in ransom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what one of the guys who got indicted, what it was being alleged is they were negotiating with the ransomware gangs over in Russia for $1 million or 500 grand. They were telling the client they're demanding $3 million. And out of that 3 million, we'd get $1 million or we'd get 200 grand or whatever, but it's all going to go to them. And so they would get the 3 million from the client or from the client's insurance company, right? Or the client has to go take a loan out, whatever it is. And then they would pay the ransomware gang 500. And there's also evidence of this because some of those guys have been caught and are in jail down in Texas. And one of the things those attackers, because when they travel outside, Interpol catches them. And then they come to the U.S., they convict them, right? Because they have hundreds of breaches worth hundreds of millions of dollars. But some of these guys are like, look, I got indicted and I know I get that I'm in jail and stuff, but they're telling me I have to pay restitution for like $8 million for this breach. We only got 800,000, or we only got 1 million.
We got a piece of it.
And he has no reason to lie.
Mm-hmm.
He really does, other than he just wants to cut down the amount that they say he stole. But the truth is why is he making up that lie as opposed to another one, right? It's because they probably did only get 800 grand. The negotiators were siphoning off the rest. You know what I mean? Like the bad negotiators. There's the vast majority in that industry are former law enforcement people. They're actually good negotiators, good people. So I'm not bashing the industry. I am bashing those guys that were like, they had the power, because a business owner doesn't get on a talks channel, doesn't understand the dark web, like doesn't know how to negotiate, doesn't really know what's said. Half the time it's in Russian. It's in a foreign language. They have interpreters, right?
Humans are designed to game systems. I think we evolved that way, so that people who gamed a system bred more, were attractive mates. I mean, that's part of being a human being, is to figure out workarounds, right? And to cheat a system. It's all a game. And it sounds evil, and
it's
it is.
Hack.
It sounds evil. It can be evil.
It's a hack.
Yeah, but
a hack is
you want to hire. The FBI probably hires a lot of those guys to help them fight those guys, right? Because it's all a game.
So, Mike,
think about Mike, when the mafia took over. I'm sorry, the outfit. I'm sorry, that it doesn't exist. But the group of organized crime individuals took over Vegas in the 60s and 70s, right? 50s, 60s, and 70s.
With the mob,
right?
which was Jewish. Yeah, it was Jewish and Italian.
Correct. They would make, let's say, $3 million legitimately on those casinos, but they lived for the 300 grand they would make on the skim.
Yeah.
Right. It was all about, like, what can we make on the skim? Like, what can we steal? Like, that was the thrilling money, because we've heard them talk about it, and they're like, well, no, we lived for the skim.
They're also laundering, right? Weren't they laundering money too through it?
Yeah. But it's that, well, my point was, I think you're spot on about the human behavior. Like, there's something more exciting about doing what they could get away with secretly than just the legit. They were making plenty of money legitimately, just running a valid casino, but they didn't want to do that.
My dad was ridiculous. He made plenty of money on his nursing home, and he wasn't a gangster. But the pharmacist that would service a nursing home, it was a very valuable account, right? So he would just say, "If you want, you could do my nursing home. I need a little bag of money every week." Yeah, it was like that's what they lived for. It's a paper bag, a little paper bag full of money.
Mike, remind me next time to tell you the story of my own grandmother being the drug dealer or her nursery place.
I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear it.
No. Yeah, tell us that right now.
So very fast, I was doing my medical residence in the hospital location where also she had her nursery home. So every chance that I had to go and have lunch or dinner with her, I take the time. So I used to go with her, blah, blah, blah. And one night after dinner, I take her to her room, and she is in the bathroom changing, and she asked me to reach for something in her nightstand. So I open the nightstand, and I see all these pills. I think
she's like running. Okay.
I called the nurse because it was like over 300 pills.
Oh my gosh.
So I called the nurse. My grandmother's still in the bathroom. And I said to the nurse, what is this? Why my grandmother has so many pills? So, it's because she says that she cannot sleep. So every night we give her a pill. And I tell, no, my grandmother don't have any problem falling asleep.
She's hoarding them. Yeah.
So she's
hoarding them, and then she's
my grandmother get out of the bathroom and says, Granny, we need to talk. Why you have so many sleeping pills? It's because my friends comes and ask for pills because the nurses don't want to give them the pills. Like, it's a reason why they don't want to give them.
There might be a medical reason why, right? And then, but so grandma, was she selling them to him?
No, she was giving it
She just giving them away.
Charity.
Because yes.
Out of the goodness of her heart.
Yes, exactly. So I told the nurse, look, I don't want my grandmother to get in bad shape with the friends. So let's switch it for placebos.
Yes.
That is amazing.
It was like, you can kill somebody.
Right.
Don't do that. So.
Oh my gosh.
My dad couldn't. My dad would. Our nursing home was full of many Italian Americans. Lots of the families of the local, mobsters, and so spaghetti was always on the menu. And there was this little old man. He was crying, and he's like, "Why are you crying?" He goes, They won't let me have red sauce on my spaghetti. It was just white spaghetti. No, because and the nurse said he can't have red sauce. He's on a salt prohibitive diet. He goes, he's 94. Give him some fucking sauce. And he poured the sauce on. He probably killed him, but it's so stupid. I mean, give them what they want,
Yeah.
I mean, give them an Ambien. Let them enjoy themselves.
I was just gonna say, like, what are they? What harm are they gonna do? But I mean, medical treatment was different back then. So when my dad passed away young, I'll just share one story. He had cancer and he was a Marlboro Red smoker. But I would go and visit him when he was at Columbus Hospital in Chicago when I was down going to school. And he would, in the hospital room, he would go, "Hey, Dino," he's like, "put your hand on that sign on the wall." There was a no smoking sign in his hospital room. He would have me put my hand over it, and he would light up a cigarette in his hospital bed.
Well, he followed the rules, right?
So funny.
I'm like, what are you like? I remember being shocked then, but kind of laughing because I'm like, the guy's got like terminal cancer. Like, let him at this point.
Yeah.
Like, what is he gonna do?
Yes.
Like, it's, but exactly. It's also shocking today to think that you could like light up in a. But back then is when they had the smoking. Remember the smoking sections in restaurants? You would be in like the non-smoking section. There'd be the smoking section.
Yeah.
Like a foot away. You know what I mean?
The only thing I miss is the really cool ashtrays.
Blowing their smoke right at.
I miss the really cool ashtrays. Remember people had ashtrays? Oh, yeah. They're so cool. Ashtrays, they had really nice ashtrays. I used to love playing with them as a kid.
Well, in the airplanes, still, the signal. No smoking.
Yeah, and you had like the blown glass ashtrays and stuff like that with all the designs. They were really cool. All right, well, gentlemen, this was a great talk. Thank you for spending Friday morning with me. I really appreciate it. That was really awesome.
Good.
I will let you know. We'll get this one live, and we'll talk soon.
It was nice meeting you, Sergio. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.